My name is Michelle, and I am in the 7th grade at the San Francisco 49ers Academy. I live with my grandparents and my auntie in East Palo Alto. I think my grandma would say that she likes that the Citizen School teaches me the same lessons she tries to teach me every day. She knows I'm going to a place where I'll have fun, work on school, and be safe. I feel safe where I live, but there's a lot of scary places in EPA. There's a lot more violence and gang action here than other places. Citizen School doesn't just give me something to do, it helps me get focused. It's a program that shows kids the ropes and helps us learn about what we can achieve. It helps us get disciplined and motivated for high school and college. In Citizen Schools, I also get to meet new people and really get to know them. We have family potlucks where we get to see where everyone else is from, what their families are like, and what kinds of food they eat. It's a place where everyone feels safe. It's like coming home to a different family. I am motivated. I am Citizen Schools.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Carolina Masakuri, Michelle's grandmother. On behalf of my family, we want to thank City Schools and all the people who have helped Michelle in her success at 49ers Academy. Thanks to Citizen Schools, we have been able to see a change in Michelle's attitude towards education. Her grades verify that with your encouragement, she has become a young girl with confidence. With your help and support, we have changed her future. Her dreams are now within reach. Michelle is becoming the person she has always dreamed to be. I am support. I am Citizen Schools.
I am Alex Ramirez, and I am in the 6th grade at Kennedy Middle School. When I get older, I want to be independent. I want to go where I want to go. I need a car, right? In my Bank of America card by apprenticeship, I learned how to start saving money. I asked my mom to open me a saving account for me. Did you know you can save 20% on insurance if you get A's and B's in school? At Citizen Schools, I learned how to take notes, study, set goals, aim high, make the grade. I can do that. But me, I'm thinking bigger. I'm going to be self-employed, entrepreneur. I want to be a graphic designer. I can do that. I always had dreams. Now I have plans. I'm confident. I am Citizen Schools.
He can do that. We can do that together. My name is Sandra Portasio, and I'm the Community School Coordinator at Kennedy Middle School. Community schools are about bringing kids, families, school staff, and service providers together with one goal, improving the lives of children. We collaborate because we want to create a community, because we want to create a place where kids can succeed. And the Citizen School program is a great program for that, reinforcing learning by communicating with teachers, reinventing learning by involving the community in this process. The Citizen School community is vibrant, and bringing them to Kennedy was one of the best decisions we have ever made. I'm collaborating. I'm Citizen Schools.
My name is Blanca Montes. I'm in the 6th grade at McKinley Institute of Technology in Redwood City. And I have a lot to say. You probably guessed from my accent that English is not my first language. My family and I moved to Redwood City from Mexico. Moving to a new country made it difficult for me to share my ideas. But Citizen Schools helped me change that. There, I feel comfortable to practice my English. I have a lot to say. And team leaders and citizen teachers encourage me to say it every day. At Citizen Schools, I transformed from an English language learner to an English public speaker. And not only did I improve my second language, I also learned to speak through film, theater, and dance. I have a lot to say. And because of Citizen Schools, I can say it in many, many ways. I am communicating. I am Citizen Schools.
I've definitely learned that kids have a lot to say, especially Victor. Oh, no, teasing. My name is Doug Banks. I work here at Google as a programmer. I've taught 3 apprenticeships for citizen schools. The first 2 were in programming, and after that I just wanted to get away from it, so the last one was in improv comedy. And I got involved with citizen schools because I really like the idea of it. I can teach whatever I want. I can make a personal connection with the kids. It's great just to walk away from my desk in the middle of the day and be able to, connect with people and do something fun and different. I also like how it connects the, 2 different aspects of the community. You've got this company with all these great resources and all these, motivated people, and then you've got the kids who are so open and teachable and so excited about learning. And it's just great to watch the connection happen. And also for me, it's kind of personal. I live about 10 blocks from the school where I'm tutoring these kids. And so these are kids in my community that I'm passing on the street all the time. And I also enjoy just getting to take part in Google's effort in general to give back to the community. So I am connected. I am Citizen Schools.
I am Angeline Lopez, and I am an 8th grader at Campbell Middle School. Before I joined Citizen Schools, I spent a lot of time just hanging out. Ever since my mom passed away, my sister's been taking care of me. But I'm 13 now. It's not like I need a babysitter. I'm pretty grown up, so I spend a lot of time just hanging out with friends. When I first started Citizen Schools, I thought it was a punishment coming, but it ended up being a positive experience. The best part was my leadership class. We call it 8th grade break year. We learned about high schools, summer programs, and colleges, and how to get in and how to pay for it. We learned about speaking too. I used to only talk to friends or family, but now I speak up in class and ask questions and talk to adults and teachers, and even give speeches at really big events. I learned to be confident, and I learned to be a role model for younger kids, like my sister is for me. I thought I was pretty grown up, but it turns out I had some more growing to do. I am growing. I am Citizen Schools. We are Citizen Schools.
Hey everybody, thanks for coming. I'm Nick. I work in search quality engineering. We started Citizen Schools program about 2 years ago, just as a way of getting Googlers to give back to the community. We have about 20 kids or 30 kids come on campus every week, once a week, every Wednesday for about an hour. And it's a way of teaching kids basically what you love, share with them what you're passionate about. So you heard from the kids themselves and from one of the Googlers that start 3 apprenticeships here. So we're starting another program this fall. And Nazanin, who's a Citizen Schools director in Redwood City, and Marin, who's one of the Citizen School teachers who works with the kids every day, they'll basically walk you through the program, and basically then you could, if you're interested, you could email us, and we'd love to talk to you more. Thank you.
Thank you, Neha. Again, like Neha said, my name is Nazanin Halinaji. I'm the campus director at Redwood City MIT campus. Campus meaning we have an after-school program, and it's at many different schools in California. This year we have 6 schools in California, 1 in San Jose, 1 in Campbell, 2 in Redwood City, and 2 in Daly City. And we're school-based, so the students that work with us in our after-school program only come from the school that we are based at. So when I say campus director at MIT, that's what I'm talking about. So before I get started, I want to introduce some of the Citizen School staff that are here today. So first is Marin Wong. She is one of the teachers within our after-school program, and she's going to be speaking to you a little bit later about the specifics around how to volunteer here at Google. Over here is Vince Gay. He is our talent manager. He helps us find volunteers and find staff for all of the campuses in California. And then Michelle Choi, she is visiting from our national headquarters in Boston. And you'll learn a little bit about how we got started from there. Okay? Thank you. No, just wait. Before we go into the Citizen Schools model, what it looks like, I wanted to give you a little bit of context to what Citizen Schools is. Michelle is from our headquarters in Boston because that's where we began 12 years ago. An after-school program with two people who just saw a need within this with a need for the students to help with their academic achievement in the Boston public school system. At that point, it was found that 85% of 8th graders were not proficient in basic math and language skills. So these two people, just two citizens, didn't have anything to do with school, decided that they wanted to help and do something. So they volunteered, they found a school, said, can we volunteer and work with these kids? And they taught journalism and they taught first aid. It seemed to be a success. They really enjoyed it. Then they decided, you know, more people can do this. There's a lot of citizens out there. There's a lot of people who care about kids, who want to work with youth, but they're not the teachers that are directly impacting the daily education of students. So they started Citizen Schools. So it's called Citizen Schools because it's schools based on citizens, people who are outside of the school system normally coming in and creating a learning environment for students outside of school. So you can go. After 12 years, we've done a lot of research and a lot of studying on how people learn and how we should structure the learning environment for our students after school to be very intentional. So there's this learning triangle that Citizen Schools didn't make up. This is something that's in the education research field. And what it is saying is this triangle represents 100% of learning retained by people in general. The bottom part of the pyramid represents 20%. So saying that 20% of what, if somebody is just hearing information, they'll retain 20% of that information. If somebody is seeing information along with hearing information, that they're going to retain 40%. Beyond that, then there's if you hear, see, and discuss. So afterwards, if we had like a discussion session about everything you heard today, you would retain about 60% of the information. And then you go to doing, actually using the information in something to perform a project maybe of some sort. You would retain 80% of that information. And then the top of the triangle is teaching. If you can teach the information that you have received, then you are probably going to retain 100% of the information that you have received. This is the crux of what Citizen Schools is based on, is that teaching, the doing and the teaching. This is something we try to do with our students every single day, and which is also why we bring in citizen teachers to come in and do that, because you're going to bring in the real life experience from what you do either as a hobby or in your job, and you're using that information on a daily basis in a productive way and bringing that to the students you're helping them do. And then we're going to talk about how you can help them teach at the end. Thank you. So this is what we're going to go over. So first we heard of the stories from Citizen Schools. We did our welcome introduction. We're going to talk about the challenge in California that our after-school program hopes to meet, the mission of Citizen Schools, a little bit of what our program looks like every day for our students, and then the apprenticeship model is where you as volunteers would fit into that. Then what apprenticeships at Google look like, because that is very specific here, and then how to get involved with us. And then we have a couple of people who have been citizen teachers with Google before that are going to speak to you about their experience. And then we'll be here for questions and after. Yes?
I saw EPA on the slide, but it sounds like you're not at EPA this year. So.
Oh, we actually are only there on Fridays.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you're welcome.
I live close there, that's why.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So we have a Friday program there. Okay. So in California, why Citizen Schools came to California, one of the reasons was also, I mean, this is a nationwide thing, but we found in California that at least half of the 8th graders in California were also performing below basic level of English and math, which is something you probably hear every day in the news at different states all over the country. But more than like half of our 8th graders, that's a lot of people that aren't going to be able to succeed in high school, therefore probably aren't going to be able to succeed further than that. So it was a great need that we wanted to come out here and fill and help solve the problem. So our mission from our organization overall is to educate youth and to strengthen our communities. And in doing that, educating youth is, like I said, we're trying to help our students become successful academically, to be able to be on a pathway where they can succeed outside of school, where they have options to go to secondary education, where they can pursue professions such as yours in a corporation, as engineers, scientists, teachers, lawyers. And then the strengthening communities part is, one, if we have educated citizenry, they'll be more participatory within their community. They'll have more value to add to their community. And two, bringing citizens, volunteers, connecting to the schools and to the youth that you may not already be connecting with is another way that we hope to strengthen communities. So we believe that out-of-school time represents the untapped opportunity to make this happen. There's another study done that out of all of the hours that students are actually awake and that they could be using their time in some way, they're only in school for 20% of that time. So then there's 80% of the time that they could be doing something, they could be learning intentionally, and they're not. So that's more than the majority of their time, and so that's the out-of-school time that we're trying to tap and say this is a place where we can really enhance the learning in the lives of our students. So overall, what we're trying to do in California is, one, mobilize thousands of volunteers like yourselves, to engage the youth in learning and connecting with other adults. And three, preparing our youth to succeed academically as well as whatever their aspirations might be for their future. So this is just a quick look of our national network. Like I said, we started in Boston and we've expanded to a number of cities, states across the country. So you can see we have East Palo Alto, Campbell, San Jose, Redwood City, and Daly City in California, and we're hoping to expand to Oakland, San Mateo, and possibly LA. So why this is important to you is because, one, I want you guys to realize that this is bigger than you as volunteers, and two, the more we can engage volunteers and community members, the more our program can grow, which means the more we can impact students, the more students we'll be able to impact in the end. And that's really what we want to do. We want to be able to offer the opportunities that we have to as many students as possible. Actually, go ahead and skip this slide. So, an apprenticeship. What is an apprenticeship? Something that we're going to be asking you to possibly volunteer to do is to work with our students on a weekly basis towards a wow. And what that wow is a product performance or presentation. That's what you want to end with. Remember that learning triangle with the do and the teach? So in order to have that do, we need something for the students to work towards. So what we're working towards is a project that's a product, something tangible, for example, making bookshelves, or a performance. We've had plays, so putting on a play, or a presentation, which is a lot of what happens here at Google. We've had the different apprenticeships present on how to make a robot, how to design a website, how to fly a plane. And within that, what you want to achieve within that, what we're hoping for is that these wows will represent 4 things. Not that they should represent all 4, but it's a hope. So the first is to demonstrate mastery. The idea is that we want our students to feel confident that they've learned something and that they were successful in their learning with you over 10 weeks. So thinking about something that you can teach in 10 weeks that students can feel that they've mastered, they've been successful. And the idea behind that is if they can feel successful in something that they've learned and they've been able to present to a bigger audience, they're going to feel confident to take risks, to learn, and to strive to be more successful in school. The second is community value, something that can add benefit to others outside of the students and yourself, just that group that you've been working with. And again, that has to do with like our strengthen our communities part of our mission. We want students to see service and giving back to their community and being an active part of their community as something they should value and that they should strive for. So if that's included in what they're working for, they can feel proud of that at the end. And then something real. Again, it's about the learning triangle and that doing and teaching. And if what they're doing and teaching is real, if it's they're taking information, for example, I'm going to use Victor over here. He did an aviation apprenticeship. And they actually got to use the information that they were learning on aviation software and sit in a plane and go over the controls and have to basically share with Victor what he's been teaching them through software. That made a real experience for them so that they used the abstract information that they got from a computer and they put it in a real scene. This last is the authentic audience, and that's a really easy thing for us to do here at Google. The authentic audience is giving our students someone else besides their parents and their teachers to present to, saying that what they've worked on over the last 10 weeks has greater value than them just going through the process to learn something, but it is something to be proud of and it is something to be shared. So having that authentic audience makes it a more proudful and celebratory moment for our students. And at Google, for example, when we have engineers who are walking around and looking at these presentations that students have worked on for maybe the Python programming that Doug Banks referred to, there's people there that actually know what that is, and they can ask intelligent questions from our students, and then our students have the opportunity to use that knowledge that they've learned in 10 weeks with Doug and share it with those people that are asking those questions. Whereas some of their parents who might not know what Python programming is wouldn't be able to ask those intelligent questions, and their students wouldn't be able to use the information in that way. Thank you. So this is just an example of some other apprenticeships that we've had across the network. So you can see we've worked with a number of corporations as well as a number of individuals. So with Google, we've built robots. We've worked with Fidelity to give financial advice. We've had people write plays, do cooking apprenticeships, create films, and we've worked with law firms to do mock trials. And then this is just a couple of quotes from past citizen teachers about their experience around volunteering and working with our students. And Maren, can you just read one of those out loud?
Just choose one?
Yeah, just choose one.
I think the middle one that says, being a citizen teacher broadened my horizons and gave me a chance to meet great people kind of sums up everything that volunteers get out of the program pretty well.
So I just want to share this with you so you're not just hearing stuff from our side. These are what other citizen teachers have said in the past across the network. And then this slide is talking about the support and the training that you would have as a citizen teacher. So we're asking people who haven't necessarily had the experience of working with kids or with teaching. So what we as Citizen Schools, the staff, are there to do is to support you in that endeavor. We want to make sure that the experience is as positive and fun for you as it should be for the kids as well. So we have a support system and a training pathway in place. So if you decide after today we're talk to Naharai about volunteering, you're going to have a individual apprenticeship development, and which is where you're going to meet with the Citizen School staff that are going to come here and work with you, and you're going to work through the plans and what you're going to do for 10 weeks and learn everything you need to know about apprenticeships, apprenticeship logistics. This apprenticeship is the big picture you sort of are getting today as an orientation. And then this third is campus orientation and apprenticeship fair. So that's an opportunity for you to be at the school and get to know the school that our students are at every day. And then the apprenticeship fair is where our students actually choose amongst all the apprenticeships that are offered at a school site, which of the ones that they would like to participate in. So for example, at our school, we have 7 apprenticeships on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So our students, there's a fair, for example, a sort of science fair style, and it's your chance to have like a commercial about your apprenticeships, and basically sell your apprenticeship for 10 minutes. At the end of that, the students get to choose like 1 through 7, which is the one that they would like to be most in. And the idea of that is that when they come to you, they chose you. They're really interested in the topic that you want to teach. So you have students that are there because they want to be there. And then this is an summary of what the citizen teacher commitment is. So what is expected as a citizen teacher? So you're going to have your training, which is about 2 hours long. You're going to meet with your team leader to go over specific logistics, which would take about an hour. Then the apprenticeship fair, the campus orientation, it's about 2 hours. Your apprenticeship sessions here at Google are 60 minutes, and it's for 11 weeks. Though you will have weekly communication with your team leader, so that's someone like Marin, who actually works with the students on a daily basis. They will be in the classroom with you, and they will be supporting you, helping you get to know the students, what the students need at any time, help you with logistics, resources on a weekly basis. And then at the end is our WOW event, and then that varies depending on what you're doing. If it's here at Google, it'll most likely be the last week of December of our program, but you'll know about that when it comes. So overall this semester, from now until the end of December, it's about a 30-hour commitment. So actually you can skip this because I pretty much went over that. Okay, so this is about what apprenticeships actually look like here at Google, and I'm going to pass it over to Marin to get into those details.
Okay, I'm Marin again. So what it looks like for us here at Google is we're going to load all the kids onto a bus, and we're going to bring them over on Wednesdays, and we're going to be here from about 4 to 5:10. And then volunteers take small groups of kids to some space in Google, and you work on a project. So overall, we're going to have 24 students on that bus coming over. There will be 2 team leaders, such as myself and somebody else. And then we'll be working with somewhere between 4 to 15 of you. We're aiming to have somewhere between 2 to 4 apprenticeships with 5 to 12 apprentices or students in each group. And you can either teach an apprenticeship by yourself or you can teach it in a team, which makes it easier with your schedules. I know everyone's really busy here. And we come to you, which is the great part about working at Google and working with our kids. And I'd just like to say, this isn't on the slide, but it's so great that we're able to do this with the kids because you guys, hands down, have the most popular apprenticeships every year on our campus. The kids automatically want to go to Google. I didn't get to come last semester, so already coming back, I'm excited that I'm here. And like for the kids, this place is like Disneyland, and they walk around and their eyes get enormous, and they're just totally overwhelmed by all of the things that you have around you every day. So it's a really cool opportunity for them to be able to experience something they never would be able to see except for this program. So hope you all are excited about that. Okay, so our goal at Citizen Schools is to support our volunteers as much as we can because we know that you are putting in a lot of your own time into this, so we're trying to make this as easy as possible for you. So you would be right here, citizen teacher or citizen teachers. Our Google liaison is Neha, so you'll be communicating with her about setting up room space and things like that. You'll also be talking weekly to your team leader. So that would either be me or another one of our staff members, and we'll be assigned to volunteers. And every week, usually through email, we'll communicate and check in with you about how things went last week, what you're planning to do the following week, if we have any recommendations about particular kids and how they're working. If there's standardized testing going on and the kids are going to be a little wacky in the following week, we'll let you know and kind of give you a heads up. And then also, of course, you'll be talking every week with your apprentices, the students in your group. And then above that, more indirectly, our campus director, so Nazanin, will be kind of overseeing everything. And then at the very top, Citizen Schools headquarters in Boston is also involved in the whole process. Okay, so as Nazanin said before, we have sites in San Jose, Campbell, Redwood City, and Daly City. And this is just to kind of put everything in perspective, that we're just a really small part of the overall picture of what's going on here in California. So we're serving 450 students overall, even though only 24 of those students will be here. You're part of something that's a lot bigger. Okay, so here's how you can get involved if you're all pumped about doing this. Big and bold on the top is being a citizen teacher. So volunteer that hour every week to come meet those kids and teach them something that you know and that you love to do. You can also just spread the word about citizen schools. So let friends here at Google know, let your family know, let your neighbor know, anybody you know at all. We'd love to have volunteers come and help with our kids. In addition to doing apprenticeships, there are a lot of other opportunities for people to get involved in our program. For example, we have an hour or an hour and a half of homework time every week at our campus. If you're interested in becoming a tutor, we can always use more help there. Every week we go on explorations, so we take field trips out into the community to museums or universities. And it's always great to have chaperones and volunteers to come with the kids on those days. In the spring here at Google, we actually have a big Citizen Schools event called the WOW Affair. So if you're interested in getting involved in that, we have information that you can ask us about at the end. And then our WOW event, which will be in December, even if you're not teaching, it's great to have an audience, of course. So if you could come support the kids in that way, that would be great too. Okay, so now that you're all excited and know what you can do, this is how you can actually get involved. You can either email Neha, who is our Google liaison, about getting involved. If you want to host an exploration, if you want it to be the focus of one of our field trips, you can contact Nazanin, and her contact information is up there. You can also just find out what's going on if you sign up for one of our newsletters. And Vince, who's back in the back there, is the go-to guy for finding out all sorts of different opportunities that we have. Okay, so Victor, how do you feel about talking? Yeah, okay. Victor is this fabulous, fabulous citizen teacher that we have here at Google, who's taught 2 apprenticeships with aviation, which is amazing for our kids because they would never, ever get to do aviation outside of something like this. So he's just going to say a few words about his experience.
Yeah, so I taught the aviation apprenticeship for 2 semesters. I was never very good at dealing with kids. They're tough to control and sugar and all that. But I found that that's equally offset by the kids who, by the end of the semester, you see that they can actually do something that you've taught them. And occasionally I'll get one really sharp student that'll even surprise you. I really wasn't expecting this. So that's neat to see. My apprenticeship, we cover various aspects of aviation, and by the end, their WOW is a demonstration of ability on the simulator to depart from Palo Alto, and they navigated the way themselves to Monterey. Did it very well. So the time commitment is not as bad as it sounds. The 1 hour a week is easy to waste anywhere in a week. So typically you teach something that you know so well that there's very little preparation time involved. In my case, aviation, I've been flying for 3 years now. And so when I teach a lesson, it's not really a problem as far as prep work too much beforehand. And again, what you get out of it at the end, what they can do it's pretty cool. Are there any questions in particular about aviation or CT schools? Yeah, for 1 semester, I would encourage anyone to give it a shot. Or you can pair up with people, so yeah.
Like, what were the ages of the kids in your set?
Oh, so they're like 14. So they're around the time when
We're in high school for
not high school. Is that high school?
6 through 8.
Yeah.
Okay, middle school.
I guess they're right there to where sometimes it's hard to keep them calm, but you can still get things through to them.
Are the kids in the session pretty much all the same grade, or are they different grades?
They're all about the same age. I don't know if they're all in the same grade. Is that
There'll be a little bit of a mix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so when you teach, you can imagine it would be like any class. You'll have a couple students, that are really sharp, and then some that just zone out, and it's hard to get through. But more or less, they're all the same age and so forth. So I taught between 3 and 4 people, 3 to 4 kids. But that's entirely up to how much you feel you can deal with. At Google, I think most people don't take more than 6 kids, I guess.
Yeah, we had one group of 12.
Okay.
Did you ever try, well, I guess you just did it here, right? So they never actually sat in a plane?
We did do one field trip to the airport where they got to sit inside.
See the real controls? And
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah. And that was neat. So they, the slide, one of these was the slides, but they can read all the instruments and they know what all the controls do. So when we took a field trip to the airport, they could do that again as well, and they
You didn't take
recognized.
them up in the air?
No, that would be nice to do. I guess we haven't figured out the paperwork for that.
Yeah, I was wondering about.
Yeah, it's not a problem except for that. So hopefully that can be done sometime. Anything else?
Would you do it again?
Huh?
Are you going to keep doing it?
Yeah, for this upcoming semester. And you will do it as well? Something?
I don't fly.
Oh, well, I mean, anything. So you pick something that you
That I
know
can
very
do.
well and you like to teach.
Walk
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I'll introduce myself. I'm Jess. I did an apprenticeship last quarter with 2 friends, Natalie and Steve, who couldn't make it today. And we actually taught cooking, and we did it in Pacific Cafe, and the chefs were an amazing, amazing help. So basically, we worked with the kids. It was called Iron Chef. So they got to choose their own ingredients on the first day that they wanted to work with. And then we created recipes based off of those ingredients the second day, and then each subsequent class, we would teach one of their dishes. And so what that would mean is we would go in, teach them a couple of steps like, okay, this is how you chop an onion, this is how you use a knife safely, make sure you wash your hands, those kind of basic things. And then the rest was really hands-on, just giving them tips as they were cutting, chopping, frying, etc. The chefs were amazing again. We gave them the list of ingredients we wanted beforehand. They would come with a tray with everything already chopped up and then a separate onion that we could practice on. So it was tons of fun. We had 7 children to begin with, and we ended up with 6 at the end, we could have probably handled more between the 3 of us. And I definitely recommend working with somebody else if you can, because it turned out, I would have to travel a week, and so I had a couple of other people that could fill in if I wasn't there, which was nice. And this quarter, I plan to teach another one, but this time probably in cartoons and drawing with a couple of the webmasters. So if you have any questions, please feel free to shoot. And if somebody wants to teach a cooking one this quarter, I will be happy to introduce you to one of the chefs. So, thank you.
Thanks very much. I would really recommend talking to them if you have any questions, because I'd say their apprenticeships were really, really popular last year, and I know that at least one apprentice in both of theirs told me afterwards that they're definitely going to sign up for the same apprenticeship this semester. We usually don't let them do the same one twice, but they were very passionate about wanting to do the same one again, so they did a great job, and they'd be a good resource. So we're going to open it up for questions. If you have any questions for us, we can answer those now.
Contracted employees, volunteer as well as full-time employees?
I would assume everyone can, everyone can volunteer. Did you have a question?
Are there any topics that you found just didn't work very well, sort of as a topic?
Are there any topics that didn't work? I don't think no. We can take any topic and make it interesting. There was one in Boston that they did about safety in the workplace, and which sounds so boring, but the kids loved it, and they went around their school and pointed out all the potential safety hazards and got really into it. So you can take anything and make it interesting. Did you want to add something?
Have a comment on that though. So we did our WOWs in Redwood, both here at Google and in Redwood City.
And I just want to comment on one particular apprenticeship that was there, which was the Goldman Sachs folks who taught investment banking. And like the concept of investment banking, that's fine, you can teach the kids that, but I just don't think it was very sensitive to the population that they were talking to. So they were the examples they were giving were, for example, our salaries are $60,000 a year, and we'd like to try to save $2 million to donate to charity by the end of X number of years, which I didn't think was, a great thing to do considering the population and their audience. So just keep that in mind when you're designing these classes.
Did anyone else?
Well, what kind of kids do you get in the programs? I mean, do they come from pretty stable families or not
so yes,
so stable?
What kind of kids we have in the program? I'd say it's a really, really broad range. We are in the school because Citizen Schools tends to choose schools that need help, that are underperforming. But I'd say there's a broad range of parents that are super involved and that aren't as involved, and kids that are just wildly outgoing and ones that are really shy. Some students are totally succeeding academically and others are not at all, so it's a really wide range. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, and we have also Spanish speakers, students who are learning English as a second language, and we also take special ed students.
Anybody else?
Partner from Google, but I don't know anybody specifically. Like, is there a system set up to kind of match Googlers who might be interested in this, or how do you handle that?
I guess the best way is like we would just, whatever volunteers we get, we'll just brainstorm, like meet for an hour one day and just brainstorm. And if you find somebody who has similar interests, then we'll just team them up. Because I think it's a pretty good idea given our busy schedules. Like if you have to take off one Wednesday evening, you can't come, then your teammate can do it. And oftentimes, even if you're alone, then Marin or Nazanin can take up that session. I mean, any Citizen School teacher can take up that session and keep the kids busy. So, and I also wanted to add that it doesn't have to be something that you're very, very good at. Like it could just be your hobby, something that you wanted to explore but haven't gotten a chance and you want to share with your kids, because you'd also be exploring and learning in the process. So really, the time commitment really is not that much. It's like an hour is not, that hard to spare during, one day a week. So, and it's a rare opportunity because you don't have to leave the campus. You don't have to leave Googleplex at all. Kids come to you. So there's really no reason to not, get involved. So, and definitely you'll feel awesome after kids actually present what you've taught them. They look up to you as if you know the answers to everything. It's an awesome feeling. So there's a sign-up sheet, not really a sign-up, well, to keep you guys posted about it. I just want to get the list of people who are interested in this program, so I don't have to spam everybody for a limited set of people. We would have a training session coming up at Google where it'll be around like an hour and a half, where we could all sit together and brainstorm what our interests are and take it from there. And after that, there's one more thing at Citizen School where you actually display your apprenticeships. That's also about just an hour in the evening, one evening. And then after that, you just stay at Google and start teaching. So it's pretty awesome. I want to thank Marin and Nazanin for coming and taking the time to come here. I think she had one question.
Do we have an idea right now of something that we'd be interested in?
Sure.
Should we tell one of you? Or?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, so actually I was just about to say, so next steps right now, if you want to volunteer to teach an apprenticeship here at Google, you can talk to Neha and Marin and they can give you specifics. You could exchange specific contact information and all the next steps for Google. If you are not sure, but maybe you want to volunteer maybe once for an exploration or just visit, you can come talk to me. And if you're interested in looking at any other school, like you said you lived next to East Palo Alto, and that might be something you're interested in connecting with the kids there, you can talk to Vince Gay. Okay?
So even if you don't have an idea right now, but you're interested in volunteering,
but you don't have a specific idea, which happens with a lot of volunteers, feel free to show up because these guys are pretty good at coming up with something that you could work through and make it into a project.
Okay, so thank you.
Thank you.